Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be solving second problem of Leetcode Biweekly Contest 114. Pause the video, read the question, then I will explain. Okay, so what the question is saying that we have one array nums and we can perform two kinds of operation. Either we can choose two elements and delete them, or we can choose three elements and delete them. And what we have to do is we have to return minimum number of operation required to make the array empty. Okay, so okay, the question is straightforward. Now let's say we have, let's go to solution how we can solve that. So we have this array given. Okay, now we can simply see that we always have to count the frequency of the elements, because we will always pick either two elements or either three elements. First of all, let's rule out the possibility. If there is any number, let's say n, and if it's only one time, that means we cannot remove it. We cannot remove it, and in that scenario we can always return -1, right? So this is the base case or edge case, we can say. If the frequency of any number is equals to 1, that means we cannot reduce the array or delete all the elements, so we will return -1. Else else let's say for any number n we have frequency some, let's say for let's it's a frequency 5. That means what we can do is we can, now we have two options. Either we can select two elements, okay, or we can select three elements, or we can select mix of both, like sometimes two or sometimes three. Now if there is, let's say the frequency was x, then how many times we can select three elements? X by 3 times. So if there was the frequency of any element, let's say n was x, then how many can we can perform the operation by selecting three elements and deleting them? That is x by k. Now if it is totally divisible by 3, that is if x modulo 3 equal to 0, then we don't need to worry about, and we are all good. We can simply add to our answer. Let's say is the total number of operation we required. So answer is always, answer will be, we can add answer plus equal to 3, because okay. And now if, so why we are simply just dividing it by 3 first? Because let's say if there is some number, let's say 6, which is divisible by 3 and 2 both. So if we will select 2, we'll have to perform 3 operation, right? But if we'll select 3, we'll have to perform just 2 operation. That's why we'll pick 3 first. Now if it is not divisible by 3, that means that means it can give remainder either 1, or it can give remainder either 3, because for 3 we can have remainder 0 1 2. If remainder is 0, that means it is completely divisible, and we have already added answer plus is equals to x by 3. Okay, now if it gives remainder 1, that means the last three elements, or let's say what out of all the frequency, the last three and this one is remaining, then we can split it into two parts, such that the last three elements that we have chose, we will just select two of them and this one and the remaining one from that group. So overall this operation we have already counted, though earlier it would have three elements, but now we are just leaving one element from here and we are choosing two elements, and this one can be combined with this, and overall the number of operation will be increased by 1, because we are performing one operation of selecting two elements. Okay, and this operation was already counted. Similarly, if we have two elements left, that means we can simply select these two elements, and again we'll have to add one more operation. So what we can say is, if the number of the frequency, yeah, and why this will always be true? Because if the remainder is 1, then we always have one group, because we have already ruled out that if if x is equal to 1, then we have already returned -1, right? That means for the next value of x, that will give remainder 1 is 4, right? If it is 2, then it will give remainder 2, and we will select the two elements using the two operation, or like the selecting just two elements, right? Okay, similarly for all the other numbers, we know that if it is exactly divisible by 3, then we'll make the group of 3. If it is leaving remainder 1, then we are sure that there will be one group before this leaving this one. So we can always split that group into 2 and 1, and that 1 can be added over here. So overall we'll increase our answer by 1, and if it's true we can just perform operation of selecting two elements, then also we'll have increase our answer by 1. Okay, so let's go to the code once. So here is the code. First of all, we run a map. We make a map, and then we increase the frequency of each elements. Then we have an answer, and then we check if it is equals to. We are just extracting the frequency, that is x equal to it dot second. That is the frequency of that particular number. And if it is equal to 1, then we can simply return -1. Else we just dividing x by 3, and if there is some modulo, because if x is modulo 3 is not equal to 0, then we have to increase it whether it's 1 or 2. So we have to increase it by 1 and increase the answer by 1. So we are just doing answer plus plus, and finally we are returning the answer. Let's submit the solution and check if it is accepted. Yeah, it's an accepted solution. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any doubt. Thank you.